What it is, YouTube, it's your boy Brown Love, and what do I love? Practical wisdom, practical application, and we're going to be answering your questions today with logic and understanding. So I got my beautiful wife today with me again. It's going to be Shay. That's going to be her name on this YouTube, okay? So get it right, jot it down, put it in your memory banks. Let's go.
Alright guys, so we're gonna kind of elaborate off of what we said the last time. I think I gave about 8 key points on what attracted me to my husband. And I guess we're just gonna go back to that, right?
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and hit you with the real and the raw. Last time I want to apologize. I was on my way to work. I don't feel like I gave you half my effort. I definitely gave you all my effort. If you know anything about where I live and how fast I needed to get to UCLA, I got there in about 11 minutes when it should be taking me around 22 minutes. So I was hauling just to get y'all that video. It was definitely on my mind that I didn't want to leave y'all stranded out there. So the first point is going to be read by my wife, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into that.
Okay, so I had mentioned in the last video, my first thing that attracted me to my husband was the fact that he was a hard worker. Like, he had a job and he had his own place. Both of those things were super attractive because women like to be led and women like to be secure. And knowing that my husband had a job, and I also had a job too, so it wasn't like, oh, he got a job, so I'm about his money. It wasn't like that. It was, I was seeing who he was, in his character, and knowing that he had a job and he could provide and take care of me, himself, and maybe a future family at that point was attractive.
Let me ask you a question about that, because when you say one of the first things that you did when analyzing me or figuring out if I was going to be the right person for you, you said that I had a job and I had my own place. I'm sure there had to be some form of physical attraction too.
Yes.
But if I didn't have one or two of those things simultaneously, would you have still given me the same shot?
You would have had to be attractive, and you would have had to have a job.
Would have had to have been.
Yes.
Am I not worth it in myself? You telling me that I needed both? I mean, I needed to not only be attractive, but I also had to have it all going on.
Not all, but you have to pay some bills. Like, you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I got to be able to hold down the fort.
Right, we can get the place together. We can work together to build, but having a job lets me know that you're willing to do the work, and you being attractive means that you know how to take care of yourself, groom, you care about your appearance, and not in a shallow way, but just, I don't want to walk next to someone that look like
And I get it.
homeless. And
What we're talking about right now, I'm focusing on the fact that I had a place. So me having my own place gave you an understanding that I was about my business.
Right.
And it's not the fact that so did it depend on the type of job that I had? If I was a garbage man and I lived in a studio apartment instead of having a house, would I have had the same shot and opportunity with you?
You said if you was a garbage man and lived in a studio house?
Yeah, even though, hey, shout out to garbage men. They are essential. I don't know if you know this, but the city would be ran amok if we didn't have what we needed in the garbage department. And they actually make good money. But so if the status of my job was less appealing than working for my dad's landscaping company, would you have still been interested in me?
If you still owned a studio, yeah, because it's more of your effort. It's like, we can build and grow together. I'm not a type of woman that is just like, you gotta have it's not about the money, it's about like us building. So you can work your way up from a garbage job, or even if you had it for the rest of your life, if you're able to take care of your family and provide, then hey, to the trash can job.
Yeah. So What would you say to the individuals who are lacking one or both of those things? Would you say that their prime um, motive at the moment, or their aspirations need to change to being able to fend for their own self? Like, would you have? That's dicey. I don't. That's dicey. I don't know, because I've just met a bunch of dudes who, well, not a bunch. I met a few people who went ahead and got married, but they were living at their mom's house, which entails their spouse still took them seriously. So is it more of a mindset versus?
Yes.
Okay, so it's more of a
mindset.
mindset than having the actual material,
Yeah.
or okay.
Because even for you, like when we got together, I was 19 and you were 21.
Yeah, still
so
young.
at 19, I still had a high school mentality. Like, to me, the first attraction was that you were attractive. Because initially, you remember, it wasn't going to be a serious relationship. It was more of like the sexual tension with us living in sin.
Yeah, we wasn't Christians at the time.
Yeah, so it was.
I was
like,
trying to schmang it, and I guess she was going to use me for whatever look she thought.
We were both going to use each other.
Yeah, we're
like,
going to use each other.
You know,
that's kind of like what it is when you're young.
But it was attractive that I'm a 19-year-old and I see this man, like he's 21 and he got his own place and he got a job. It's like, ooh, what? Like, goals, right?
Okay, goals. I can respect that. Okay, what's the next point, baby?
All right, so your masculinity.
Oh, masculinity. We're gonna get into that. So let me set the mood for this next point. So there is a key difference between alpha and beta mentalities. Everybody has a different preference. Every woman tends to be able to deal with the different personalities. She's gonna speak on the fact that I'm extremely alpha.
Yes.
With friends or relationships or a working environment. Anybody that knows me knows that when I walk in a room, I'm pretty dominant. Even when I try to be, like, I've actively tried to calm down my presence when I'm around others, because I don't want to make anybody feel too uncomfortable. If someone new comes to work or something like that, they go ahead and let me know that it was a little intimidating when you were speaking to me at first. I don't know what that's about. Or in a casual setting, they say that the energy in the room shifts a little bit. It is what it is. I mean the best, and I'm usually doing things to change the environment to make it cohesive for everybody. But she's going to explain what she needed in a partner and the difference between what she had before.
Yeah, so him being masculine was a big deal. That strength, looking at his strength, like, let me know that he can protect me. I love that he was fixing things, around the house without me having to ask, because, there are men that, like, don't do those things, or they look to the women to do it. And I'm one of those women that can do it. So, like he was saying, between the beta male and the alpha male, I think it's the alpha that I was attracted to, because I'm also an alpha female, I believe. And not...
She's an alpha female. If there was ever an alpha female... People... Here's the difference between being an alpha female and being a controlling female.
Yeah.
Or woman, because I'm not going to just diagnose you to your gender saying female. It sounds more like you're a species or something like that. Shay has a very strong personality, but anybody that knows her says that she's soft-spoken and gentle. If you first meet her, you go ahead and say, like, oh, she's so sweet and she's so nice and she could blend into the room and she obviously wants the best for everybody. But she also has a strong personality in the sense of she knows exactly what she wants, and she knows how to get it, and she's not going to take any less. She'll do it in a polite way, but you will definitely know where you stand at all times. She's Belizean, by the way. That Belizean boldness comes out in anybody. I challenge anybody who has ever met a Belizean woman to say that they are not straightforward. Okay? I think Belize as a whole is straightforward. And that's one of the most attractive things about her, that she's extremely straightforward. I know exactly where I stand at all times, and she can check me when I need to be checked, because I ain't perfect. I ain't perfect.
Yeah.
So you were saying you want someone who doesn't need to be told what to do, but takes initiative.
Yeah, take initiative. Because by me not being a weak woman and I'm very strong, sometimes I am wrong. But because I'm very strong in that wrongness, because I believe it's right, I need a male that can set me straight and not set. Oh, a man setting a woman straight isn't a bad thing. It's like we can't get out of hand and out of control, you know, if you allow us to get our way. And sometimes I need a man that will just put his foot down and say no, Shane.
Yeah. And so do women? I mean, I know. So, as far as this is going to be a very important question for the guys who are listening, and I guess the girls can hear this too. Do women like yes men? Yeah.
I don't like a yes man.
Yeah, girl.
It's cool, I do whatever sometimes, but then when it's all the time, it's like I lose respect, because why are you always saying yes to something that it's too easy. Women like challenge too, just like men like a challenge, like when they're going for the women like that too. So if you're with a yes man, you're gonna intentionally walk all over them, and most women don't want a man that you can walk all over, because then a yes man shows a weakness that like you can't protect me because I'm the boss of this relationship. Like I run stuff, and
you're taking. I think here's the thing about like submission and things like that. The world has put a negative connotation on submission. They believe that it is, shut up, woman. Go make me a sandwich and don't you come out unless you look pretty. Which is crazy. I would get cut if I ever spoke to Shay like that. Instead, submission is delegating a head or a lead of the household. But here's where some fellas drop the ball. The lead doesn't mean what I say goes. A lot of times, I don't get my way. A lot of times, me taking the lead is me considering her before myself, and then her trusting me in my decisions, and then we go from there. There's been plenty of times that I've wanted the exact opposite of what she's wanted. I've stopped, I prayed, I thought about it, and I came to her and I said, you know what, I think that your way is more reasonable, even though I'm a little uncomfortable with it. It's clear that what you want will benefit the household. And I let her have what, not only what she deserves, but what is appropriate for the situation. And that's what it means by, that's one of the things about being alpha. It doesn't mean I get whatever I want. Right. It doesn't mean my way or the highway. It means let me think well under pressure. And because I have a proven track record, you trust me to delegate responsibilities because I'm going to consider you before myself. And I think that's very important for men to understand when they're trying to scoop a woman up or something like that, that they understand you can take charge of a situation without looking like a jerk. Or you can take charge of a situation by making sure that everybody is working in cooperation. Cooperate is going to be the main thing that I'm talking about. We want to build a surrounding that we work together in tandem instead of only working for my dreams and aspirations, because you matter too. Yeah.
And that goes into the next point, which is communication. I'm not always the best communicator. For one, it's sometimes we have that barrier because, you know, I am from a different country. My first language is different, so the understanding in words and what things means is a big thing with me. And in past relationships, I would have problems with communication, but my husband is very understanding of the fact that maybe what I said meant something different, and he's willing to explain it, because I would get upset. I'm like, how do you not get what I mean? And blah, blah, blah. You know, but he's learned me enough to understand where I'm coming from, and then be able to correct me. And sometimes I don't like the correction, but
You do not like the hey, tell the truth and shame. Hey, man, golly.
a lot of the times I
Oh
don't
my
like the
goodness,
correction.
this woman do not listen. Sometimes, fellas, you got to be the bad guy. My wife does not like hearing no, and she hears no often. Oh my goodness, you got to be a man. If you're gonna get married, you got to be able to be the bad guy by being the good guy. Okay, Batman. If anything I gotta say is, you're not Superman when you're married. You're Batman. Gotham needs somebody to look at and point fingers at for the best of Gotham, okay? Whew!
And even though I get upset sometimes, like when he's giving me the correction, I do appreciate it at the end of the day, and I consciously like learn, you know. So it's like, even in the words that I choose to express, sometimes I'll sit down and really think about it, like, how am I saying this? Because he was able to guide me in that. So him having great communication skills has grown me, so it's adding to my character and me as a woman, and that also travels into the leadership, like, of a man, you know, being able to lead his wife. I think women want to be led, like,
Women want to be led. So one of the main things I hear is, yeah, I'm a submit, but to the right person. But that's not okay. Everybody here isn't a Christian. I mean, a man's job is to love his wife and in an understanding way, biblically, and from a biblical standpoint, the woman's job is to respect the husband. Not everybody that's going to listen is a Christian. But we've been delegated our responsibilities apart from our partner's worthiness. Because I'm not Jesus. I fall, I sin, and I do the wrong things. I get snappy, and sometimes I make the wrong decision. But you still have a charge sent to respect your husband. And men, your wife can be short, patient, high-tempered, and demanding, but you still need to love and understand her.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that, you know what? She kind of snapped at me 2 or 3 times this week. I think I'm gonna stop loving her for a little bit. Yeah. No love, no understanding. I'm just gonna do me, and she better pick it up because I'm 2 seconds away from walking about this house. You can't be like that. You basically, you need to handle yourself and change what you can change, and hope that by you participating in your role, your partner will learn to love and respect what you're doing for them. And relationships have that, where sometimes you're never on the same level, but you're going forward and you're moving forward because someone in that time is taking responsibility for maintaining the relationship's trajectory. I'll say that, yeah.
And that's one thing that I love about my husband, is that he does carry a lot of that, and he does a great job at, you know, leading the family, because I'm weaker in that area. Like, I'm more quick-tempered. I have to have things now. I'm anxious. Like, I have a creative brain, so my mind's always running, and I get ideas and I want to jump on them. And sometimes he has to just like, okay, babe, think about this. Slow down. I'm not saying no, but think, you know. And I appreciate that, because that helps me grow as a person.
You gotta be Batman, man. You gotta be Batman. Superman don't exist in a marriage. You're not coming here and saving her. She was gonna be her before you and after you, but you can lead in the shadows, brother. You can lead in the shadows. And then when you disappear, guess what? When Batman disappeared for a little while, Gotham was like, man, we had it good. We had it good. That brother was putting in work. And that often happens in a relationship. Men get fatigued. They slow down a little bit. And then the wife will recognize, like, man, he actually was working hard for this and that. And then she'll dish out some encouragement. Guy get energized. He come back, and we back at it again. Yeah.
And we have like areas where we both can uplift the other person, you know. So another thing that also was attractive was the fact that my husband was a groomed man.
Oh.
Like, you know, and we were very young, so these are all things that attracted me at a young age. Like 21, he was always shaving his face, cutting his hair, brushing his teeth, you know, 20 times a day. Like, made sure he smelled good with the cologne.
No, I wasn't. No. I stayed at a steady. Yeah, you exaggerate. I was just clean. Yeah, brothers, you can't be stinking around your girl. She immediately puts you in a different category, in a different box. You can't be dusty when you're trying to pursue somebody. A lot of times, brothers don't keep their appearance up. It's the same like if a girl, you only saw the girl that you want to deal with, and she was she never was presentable, and she never looked like a lady. You might take her at the category of wifey. For men, not keeping yourself in physical condition. Not everybody wants someone who's buff or strong or anything like that. Some women like them chunky. I've had conversations. It's a real thing. Chubby chasers. Believe it. It can be done. But the point is, you still look like you cared about your appearance. If you don't care about your appearance, they're not going to care about your appearance. Let's face it, humans are superficial. The average person doesn't say, man, that person in the grocery store sure does look smart. Let me go over there and ask them about their ideological perspective on this political climate. No! It's like, that look good. Let me go try and holler. That's a real thing. And women determine very quickly what position that you're going to be in. They know. We get blamed for like the I know dudes do like the number thing. I haven't did that in a long time because I'm not a child. But like rankings and stuff like that. Women don't rank. Women categorize you quickly. Women are like, yeah, that's a friend, or that's the homie, or that's the bro, or that's someone I don't want to deal with, or I'm gonna only talk to this person for a certain amount of time. And then they also know, like, ooh, there's something special about him. Ooh, there's something I like about him. I'm gonna pursue that. And that's how they get attached, because they made up their mind from the get-go. And if you look bummy from the get-go, guess what just happened? Yeah, you putting that box up. Yeah. No. So that's why it's important that you always stay well-groomed, or that you look presentable. If you're looking, and someone's going to have to see you too. It's not all about you. They're going to have to see you and like what they see. Yeah.
And because he was so well-groomed, and not to say that I wasn't groomed, but I didn't know how to dress very well. I didn't know how to dress very well, and my husband had a sense of style. And in that, what attracted me to him was his gentleness. Like, he never was like, Shay, you don't know how to dress. I don't like that. Ooh, take that off, or go put this on. Like, he started buying me stuff, right? I didn't ask him to. He just started buying me things and was like, babe, I think this would look good on you. This
was after we was together, by the way. Yeah, I wasn't doing no simping. Hey, the answer would have been no. I wish someone would ask me to buy them something and we not a couple. Yeah. This was like months in, and it was like
6
you know
months
what?
To a year.
I was like, she got a lot of potential, but she could switch some things up. Like she said, she's from a different country. So the vibe is different. And
I didn't care about what I put on. It was just like, it's clothes. I'm in survival mode.
It's clothes, ain't it?
It's clothes.
But she was never tacky. You get what I'm saying? I didn't control what she put on. Instead, I listened to what she wanted, and then I went and got something of quality for her. I didn't want to change who she was as a person. I was already attracted to everything that she was. Yeah. She was confessing to me of what she wanted and how she saw herself and how she envisioned herself. And I was like, okay, I can just help you get going. I could speed up the process by going and getting it for you. And it wasn't like a everyday thing or something like that. It was like, we're at a store, she had her eyes on it. I'll go get it in a week or two, surprise her with it, and see how she puts it together. I'm not laying out outfits or anything like that. It's how are you going to now put on what you thought looked good in the store?
Like helping me figure out what my style is and projecting that. And now it's gotten to the point where it's like I got a little style, I know how to put some stuff together.
Yeah, I don't gotta do nothing. I don't even want to think about it. I don't ever want to think about it again.
But it was very sweet. I've never had somebody take that much like time and effort to help me in that way or pay attention. It was just like he really buying me stuff right now. And then it was things that I'm not good at looking at a rack and being like, oh, that would look good on me. So he would bring me things and I'll put it on and I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks so good on me. Like I've never seen myself like this. And
another reason why I was able to do that was I was originally going to be an image consultant. So I understand that the average guy can't do that. But when I was fresh out of high school, I wanted to be an image consultant. So I knew how to dress men and women effortlessly. And I could recognize what looked good and what looked bad. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, guys, you don't have to know your woman so well that you can design outfits for her or something like that. But instead, just the cheat code is listen to her, bro. Mm-hmm. Just listen to her, study her, and figure out what she likes and what she's into. If you can't do it on your own, ask her friends. Her friends would love to give you suggestions on what would make your girl look bomb.
Paying attention. That's the main thing about that.
Yeah.
I saw that he paid attention.
What you got next one?
I got family oriented.
Ooh.
He was super family oriented, and that's a big deal. It's like if you plan on being with somebody for the rest of your life or see them as a candidate to get married to, like, you want to know that if you want a family, they're going to take care of their family. What are they like with their family? And he was very loving. Whatever events they had going on, he showed up. He came through. He was supportive, and he also like made me feel welcome. I never felt left out. He made sure I was okay. It was like, are you comfortable? Can I go outside with my cousin, or you can come with me? But I'm also talkative.
Communication while if you're gonna take them, make sure that you communicate. Don't leave them out there. A lot of brothers want to bring them to the cookout, but then just disappear the whole time. Never check if they're comfortable. You don't know if she getting grilled or beat up.
Yeah.
That's your job to get beat up at her cookouts. You know what I'm saying? The men of her family are gonna grill you, and she don't really gotta be there. But when you bring her to your event, you best believe you're protecting your girl, because we all have that one family member or several that is an animal when it comes to asking questions. You don't want to just leave her out there to die. She's getting surrounded by hyenas, and this ain't the Pride Land. What's Lion King? Look, you ain't Mufasa yet because you ain't husband or wife, but you got to make sure that you're looking out for her. You feel me? Get that Zazu, the bird, the nosy bird, the nosy bird. Make sure that she's comfortable. Yeah,
he definitely did that, and he wasn't ashamed. Like, he would bring me flowers, and I remember one Christmas, like, just real quick, it was my first set of flowers too. Like, I never had a guy. Remember, I was young, 19, but I never had a guy bring me flowers, and he disappeared for a while. Like, we was at his family's house. I was with his mom, his sister, and his aunts. But we already were talking. We were cool. I was okay with him, like, going off if he had to. So he left. And when he left, and I didn't know what he was doing, then I realized, like, wait, where's that way? I mean, where's Brown? He not here right now. And he came back. And he came back with a bunch of flowers. And they were so beautiful. And he told me that he handpicked every single one. And everybody was like, oh, like all the women. And it just made me feel so special. It was like he did this in front of his family too. So it showed me that he was serious about me. Like he's blending the two together. Family and girlfriend,
Yeah, I mean, here's a point that I want to bring up. Fellas, I know that it was never our dream for the wedding dress and all that big jazz. Men are more logical when it comes to, are we going to be able to work cohesively for the rest of our life? And that's what a marriage means for us. Women care about romance, and me being raised by a lot of women, and the men who are in my life are very strong and very dominant. blending the two, I recognized that in order to get the wife of my dreams, I was going to have to um, be adaptive to people's romantic styles and exposing people to uh, things that I think that they would like.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing about me, going out and hand picking flowers and stuff like that, and then delivering them to her in front of my family, not only was to fulfill a romantic desire that I thought she would appreciate, it was also to demonstrate to my family that this is someone that I've chosen in respect, um, and I would like for them to respect this decision, that this is a serious relationship. And then it kind of shows that they should treat her a different way. She gets put in a different category by your family when they see you going outside of your normal comfort zone to make sure that this person is special. So step that up, fellas. If you don't know how to do it, Google it. Google stuff that girls like. Girls, there's different love languages and stuff like that. Ask your girl what her love language is. It's really easy to fulfill that. And if you're with a gold digger or something like that, hey brother, that was your decision. I don't know what you're doing, but
if you pay attention and listen, you'll figure her out.
Yeah, I mean the average girl, because chivalry has been lagging in these recent years. They're happy with just the basics, but you want to exceed those basic expectations and make sure that you're putting real thought and care into how you're going to treat her and make her feel special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my last point, which is a very, very, very important one, and there's a lot to that little backstory, but I had a child when I got in a relationship with my husband. She was 5 months old. So, and I wasn't like out dating with my baby, but I had a child, and he was before it started getting serious, even before it started getting serious, he had the conversation with me, and he was like, I take women and children seriously, and we sat down and talked about what our intent was in the relationship, because he wasn't going to get attached to my daughter and then something happened, or he wasn't going to love me and then not love her. It was like a conversation that I just didn't think a lot of people our age was going to sit down. Most people don't think about the child. They're just like, I'm trying to have fun and do what I gotta do, whatever it is. But we had a conversation, and it was a serious conversation that was a turnaround in our relationship, where it was like, okay, this is somebody that I want to be with, because he's considering my child too, and my child was important to me. I wasn't gonna be with somebody that wasn't gonna love my baby as much as I did. Yeah. And to this day, she's now 9 years old, and this is her dad. And I can let you talk about that a little bit more, because you're the man that...
Yeah, so as far as... we should make something about that, dating a woman with children. I was young, she was young, and this was the first woman I ever dated who had a child. My original goals was nothing long-term, but our connection was so strong. I'm talking about after the first date, I was kind of like, dang, this is different. So... I introduced her to my dad, and my dad actually pulled me to the side. Shout out to the dads that are in the life. He introduced me, I introduced her to my dad, and then he pulled me to the side and said, hey, son, I'm gonna tell you this now so that you don't go down the wrong path. That girl is not a girl, she's a woman, because she has a child. And if you're going to continue to be with her, you have to take her serious, and you have to have a conversation with her to let her know that you're gonna have to love the child too. So as my love was growing for her, my love was also growing for my first child. I literally don't see a difference when it comes to my oldest and my other three. I get confused all the time who was my firstborn. to me, because she was so young,
Yeah.
she was my firstborn. I was
old.
on daddy duty. I was running out and getting diapers and stuff like that.
First
and then it was
walk,
never pushed.
crawls, everything.
Shay wasn't the type of girl that was looking for a man to provide for her baby or anything like that.
I had a problem like asking him.
Yeah. I had to take the lead. That was one of them alpha things. So I literally pulled her to the side and said, "Hey, I see that you getting serious with me, and I'm feeling the same thing likewise. So we need to have a conversation about what my role is going to be with Kiera and how I'm going to continue to grow in love with her, and how I want to be a present part in her life." And from that day on, we kind of just moved in a way of like family. And we were unbelievers at the time. We weren't Christians. This wasn't just me feeling like, oh, this is what Jesus wants me to do. This was just out of my respect for women and understanding that I'm going to affect the next generation by how I treat her mother. So men need to be able to step up if they're going to pursue somebody with a child, because it's not the same as a casual experience with someone who is single and just ready to mingle, although there's nothing wrong with that. And here's another thing, not everybody can handle that. Not everybody can be a stepdad. I don't consider myself a stepdad.
We don't do the stepdad. It's never one time someone referred to him as that, and that was a
what?
That was a moment for us where
we
were really confused because we were like, we never did the stepdad. That's daddy, you know.
Yeah, we were filling out paperwork. They was like, so you're the stepfather. I was like, what are you talking about?
What?
No, that's my oldest right there. It was like, yeah, but she's not biologically your child. I was like, what are you talking about? Yes, she is. That's my child right there. It was like, no. What I'm saying is, you didn't birth her, or she was born before you met the mom. I was like, okay, what does that mean? She was like, so you're the stepdad. I was like,
people will label you as that, but there's never been a separation.
But not really.
There's never been a separation in the home. Even when we had our first biological child together, it felt like she was both of our second.
It was the second for sure. It was like, this is clearly my second child. And I didn't feel like I missed anything either. We blended so well, and I understand that that's rare. So
we can elaborate on that in another video if you guys want to hear that, because I know now there's a lot of women that do have children
who are scared, and if they're worthy of love, yes, you are worthy of love. Yes, it can happen. There's hope for you. There's love for you. You do have to do certain things. I was the only child. I was the only father that Kiera knew, so that softened the blow for sure. I didn't have any baby daddy drama that I had to deal with, and I didn't have to get over any hurdles of phone conversations and stuff like that my wife was going to have with someone. So it worked seamlessly. It was perfect.
This is our family.
Yeah, this was literally our family. It was no big deal. But let us know what else you guys want to talk about. Anything else that is a pivotal question in your life that you want to go ahead and hear us talk about. This was kind of a long video, but you could tune in and tune out, save it, watch it later, watch it while you drive or anything like that. But when you are watching it, don't ever forget, don't you ever stop being dope. And how can you be dope? Like, share, comment, subscribe. That would be dope. Be dope. Okay? So once again, this was Brown and Shai coming to you for another YouTube video. We gave you the raw, we gave you the nasty, we gave you the nitty gritty. If you want to hear something else, go ahead and holler at us. One.